Ma'am, you honor all of the members of the legal branch, past and present, with your decision to grant your royal banner to mark the centenary of the legal branch. The banner is here with us today in Ottawa, and the branch would be honored if you were to present this to us.
I'm delighted to present my royal banner to the legal branch of the Canadian Armed Forces.
Merci beaucoup, Madame. Thank you very much, ma'am.
We intend to carry out one or more celebrations that will allow the members of the branch to physically come together and share in our pride at the beautiful banner that you have presented to us.
I hope it'll have a good career.
We will treat it with honor, Your Majesty. And as one of the aspects of those celebrations, and as a token of our appreciation to you as our Colonel-in-Chief, we will be planting a tree at a suitable location in our national capital in your honor. And it brings me great pleasure to describe that to you, since my grandfather, Ralph Hayter, for 30 years and 7 governors general, served as head of grounds at Rideau Hall, and had the opportunity to assist you in planting trees at Rideau Hall during his time there. And it's a great honor for me to mention his name and that activity, and it'll be a great honor to participate in a tree planting ceremony in your honor in the future. Thank you.
That's an interesting statistic, isn't it? To have a grandfather who was in Rideau Hall Gardens. Where's the banner going to be kept?
So we will be keeping the banner in an area just outside our main headquarters in National Defence Headquarters in Ottawa. We have some display cases with mementos in that area, and we've had a special banner case made so that folks coming into the offices and everybody who works there will be able to see it on a daily basis.
What is it made of? Silk?
I believe so, Your Majesty, and embroidered.
It's got your badge on it.
Very nicely done.
Mm-hmm. I see. That's very good. Splendid. You're in Winnipeg, are you?
Yes, I am, Your Majesty. Good afternoon. If I may, I'd like to speak to you a little bit about the domestic deployments that the Canadian Armed Forces have been involved in the past several months. There have been several requests for assistance from civilian governments for the military to provide additional support, given that the healthcare system was overwhelmed in many instances across Canada, in particular in the long-term care facilities taking care of our elderly here in Canada, and secondly, with respect to many of the remote northern First Nations communities. Both of these entities have suffered dramatically in the COVID environment, and the Canadian Armed Forces has provided medical assistance in the clinics. They provided general officer and NCM duties with respect to maintaining long-term care facilities and delivering vaccinations to these remote communities.
Yes, that's what's been happening here too, that the armed forces have done a huge job about vaccinations and things like that.
Yes, ma'am. It's been a very busy time, and I have to say that it's something new for the Canadian Armed Forces, although it was anticipated and planned as the pandemic was rolling. But it's certainly not something that is the everyday business of a military, but certainly a task that we've accepted graciously and have been very happy to be able to support.
So how long have you been involved in the local legal branch?
Ma'am, I've been in the branch for 15 years. Before that, I was in private practice of law in the civilian world. And since joining the military, it has been a great adventure and a real opportunity to use my skills as a lawyer in an area that not many lawyers get to practice in.
Yeah, I think that's quite interesting.
Yes, Your Majesty. I would just like to note that the last time we met was in 1973 when I was a young scout. The royal visit, yes, and the royal visit came to Stratford, Ontario, and us as Cub Scouts, we provided a bit of an informal cordon for your parade down the street. And instead of taking the vehicle, you chose to walk. And I remember you passing by myself and saying a few words. And it is a memory that I have never forgotten. And it's certainly wonderful to be with you today after so many years.
That's very interesting. So there's two of you who we've met under different circumstances. That's very nice. Well, thank you for giving me that very interesting discussion about what has been happening. It's very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
I have the very important task of ensuring that all of our naval operations are proceeding in accordance with both domestic and international law. So we are here in the Middle East until July 15th, when Canada hands over command to New Zealand. And I must say, we've had a very successful tour, in my opinion. We have broken records for the amount and value of illicit narcotics seized. And the estimate is that we've intercepted about 160 million US dollars worth of narcotics over a series of 51 operations. So it's been a really fantastic experience.
Yes, I think rather different too from your otherwise legal things that you do.
Yes, it is a very, very unique experience, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's very different from my previous deployment, where I was in the infantry and not a legal officer.
Oh, wow. Oh, so you've been in the military before?
Yes, I joined in 2005 as a reservist with an infantry regiment called the Calgary Highlanders, which
I do happen to know them quite well.
Yes, you do. In fact, I always regretted it because I joined right after you paid them a visit, and I still hear stories about your visit to the Calgary Highlanders. So that was my old regiment, and I joined the legal branch. So following Afghanistan, I went to law school and was hired and joined the legal branch in 2014.
So how long have you been in Bahrain?
We got here December 29th, so just before the new year. So it'll be almost 7 months.
7 months. And that's away from home.
It is away from home, and it is a little difficult. I have two really small children. My youngest just turned 2 years old a few weeks ago, actually.
So you must miss them very much.
I do miss them. I do miss them very, very much, but they don't completely understand at their age why I'm gone or what I'm doing. But I hope that one day when they understand why mom was gone and that I made a commitment to serve my country, and in addition to my commitment to my family, that they'll be proud of me. And they actually do think I'm pretty cool right now, because I didn't know how to explain it to my 3-year-old son what mom was doing. So I just told him that I'm away fighting pirates, and he thought that was pretty neat.
Well, that's a very good answer, because that's probably almost true, isn't it? Oh, well, that's very interesting to hear it. Well, what sort of numbers is the legal branch, do you think, when you're all together? What is the number of people who are working?
We are 275, Your Majesty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I'm
200
delighted to have
275.
heard all about it today. And I hope that the banner will be able to be shown around